You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the July 1st meeting for the Michigan City Common Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening and welcome to the Michigan City Common Council Today is Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. I would ask if you would all please silence your electronic devices and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent prayer.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will start off with call to order and the roll call. Madam Clerk, please.
Mr. Beatrice.
Present.
Mr. Coulter.
Present.
Mr. Dabney.
Present.
Dr. Cora.
Present.
Ms. Lee. Present. Ms. Moldenauer.
Present.
Mr. Nelson.
Present.
Mr. Prespolinski.
Present.
And Ms. Tillman.
Present.
We have 9 present and no one absent.
Thank you. Next, we have approval of minutes, regular council hybrid Zoom, June 17th, 2025.
Move approval.
We have a motion by Councilman Prespolinski and a second by Dr. Cora. Madam President, on the vote, please.
Mr. Coulter.
Aye.
Mr. Dabney.
Aye.
Dr. Cora.
Aye.
Ms. Lee. Aye. Ms. Moldenauer.
Aye.
Mr. Nelson.
Aye.
Mr. Prespolinski.
Aye.
Ms. Tillman.
Aye.
And Mr. Beatrice.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Reports of standing committees. Are there any reports of standing committees? Do we have any reports of standing committees? There are none. For the Finance Committee, the Finance Committee did not meet on this evening. Due to that, there was no claims to report. I would like to share the City of Michigan City Statement of Cash Position fiscal year to date, July 1st, 2025. Fund type 2235, Riverboat Fund, ending balance $3,243,234.04. Fund type 2236, Rainy Day Fund, ending balance $1,815,561.21. Grand total for the ending balance $5,058,795.25. Next, we have reports from board and commissions. I would like to start off first. We have Danielle Corley, that is an E4 specialist, served in the United States Army. She is the president of Veterans Commission, and she will be providing to the council their 2025 annual report.
Hi, thank you. Okay, I'm Danielle. I'm a Army veteran and president of the Veterans Commission. So we can go to the next slide. So what we're doing and what we're planning to do. Next slide. So the plan, we have partnered as a commission, we've partnered with veterans in the community, veteran service organizations like the DAV, the VFW, the American Legion, and the Wall Gang, and people in the community that are interested in helping with the commission. And people that are interested in helping the veterans. And what we're working on is implementing something called the Governor's or Community Challenge for Suicide Prevention among our veterans and their family members. Next slide. So again, we've teamed up with veteran service organizations. Franciscan has agreed to help us, Michigan City Police Department, Work One, some local business owners, and some fitness instructors. And they're helping us to provide information and services to the community at large. So one of the first things we started was a line dancing class, which is free to the community. It's free to veterans. It's offered every Wednesday. And it's called Kicking It with Cookie. We started it back at the end of February, and it's been going really good. We get anywhere from 20 to 35 people every week. People are enjoying it and feeling engaged and happy to learn dancing and just, with fellowshipping. So it's growing, and really happy with that, because that's one of the things that does help. People want to feel a sense of belonging and doing something, that makes them feel good, and getting exercise and getting that dopamine kicking in your brain. So it's one of the things we're doing. Next slide. Another class we just started offering last month is free Zumba classes at the American Legion. It's offered the second through the fourth Thursdays. They have auxiliary on the first Thursday of the month, so we do the second through the fourth Thursdays of the month. Those classes are free as well, and we've had pretty good turnout. People have liked it, and again, it's free and ongoing to not just veterans, but the community at large, to implement the plan of community engagement and suicide prevention. And the next thing we did was we partnered with Work One. We had a veterans job fair last week. We had a really good turnout. Those are a list of the businesses that were there. We had Weil McLean, Solaire, Michigan City Police Department, HealthLink, and those were the businesses that came out. And we used the first hour was geared just towards veterans. The second part, after the first hour, everyone was allowed to come in and apply for jobs. So really good turnout, and we're hoping to be able to do it again. And this is just a picture. You can go to the next one of some of the businesses that were there. Okay, next slide. And another thing that we're going to be doing, we started monthly presentations last week. This was the first one that we offered. Jennifer Evans, a local nurse practitioner that is certified with a family nurse practitioner, as well as a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. She did a presentation on self-care and watching for the signs of depression, teaching people in the community about some of the signs they may not realize could be depression, and then what they could do about it, and what we could do, or what someone could do if they recognize a family member or friend was depressed. Next slide. We have 2 more presentations coming. I put 2 flyers on there. Next week, if I can get participation from you all, it would be great. It's going to be mental health and suicide prevention. Suicide, the most preventable death. We have an Army veteran that will be presenting. His name is Dr. Kent Lodeman. He's also a veterans advocate. And again, he runs a United Health Center. So he'll be doing that presentation next week. It's at 5 p.m. Oh, don't go yet. Not yet. Go back. So that presentation will be next Tuesday, 5 p.m. at Krieger Memorial. It's free to everyone. So please come out. You may learn something, you may be able to help your family members. And then Xavier Garcia will be coming on July the 22nd. He's going to be doing a presentation. He is actually with community outreach as a part of Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs. He's with suicide prevention through Adam Benjamin. So he's helping us as well. He's going to be talking about peer support and how it helps with mental health. And, sometimes just talking peer to peer, supporting people that may have substance use issues like alcohol, drugs, mental health issues. Sometimes that training can help. And actually, they're going to be offering some free trainings next month. So he's actually going to come to our vet commission meeting, our next vet commission meeting on July the 14th, and talk to the commission members, and then he'll be doing the presentation on the 22nd. And then next slide. And the other thing we've done, we have what I thought was a good thing was moving meetings. So instead of having the meetings here at City Hall, or we have the meetings actually out in the community. And so we changed the meeting times every month. I have them listed on our agenda, but every month the meetings change. So like for example, last month we were at the Wall Gang. That's a veterans organization. So they did their meeting at the Wall Gang this month, July the 14th at 5 p.m., the second Monday of the month. It will be at the American Legion, the Skiat Legion on 121 Skiat Lane at 5 p.m. And we encourage everyone to come out. I mean, you don't have to be a veteran to attend. We need ideas and input from the community. So it was a effort I thought that would help to increase community involvement and for people not to just think that it's a veterans, suicide is a veterans issue. It's a community issue because I'm sure most people have a friend or family member, a brother, sister, aunt, uncle, grandfather that was in the military. So next slide. So we're working on we're working on the support contacts to make sure they're viable because I got a list of support contacts that are for our area, but some of them are defunct, like they're not actually doing anything. So what our committee is, we've gotten like subcommittees together to work on making contacts with those organizations. And the goal is to make sure that we have viable contacts so that when we have a veteran in need, that we have contacts that actually work. Go back. Don't do that. And so we're also working on a plan to help veterans and families in crisis. So like if a family, it could be anything. It could be a mental health crisis. If someone has lost their, God forbid, their battle with suicide and went to completion, we're working on a plan on what we can do to help the family, help the survivors. And that's it. Okay, you can go to the last one now. And that's everything. So do I have any questions from anybody?
Mr. Councilman Beatrice?
I got lost. I know I made it your first two meetings and they were 10 o'clock, I think. And then you switched to the evening meetings and I had a couple conflicts, but I didn't get minute. You had a dynamic lady who was your secretary.
Yes.
But I didn't get any minutes or anything on when your next meeting was going to be.
Well,
So are they still on the first Monday?
they voted, but like the people, because you saw that we had a lot of community turnout, veterans.
Right.
So they voted and they thought the second Monday would actually be better.
Okay, and
And that's at 5 p.m. So our next meeting will be July the 14th
14th, I got that.
at 5 p.m. and it'll be at the Skiat Legion on 121 Skiat Lane.
Okay, thanks. And
Okay.
she is still sending those every month to the city clerk, right?
Either me, her, or we have a new committee member, Vera Gaston. She does the
Oh, I
notes as
know
well.
her.
So one of us, between the three of us, we get it figured out.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilman Prisbalinski?
Yeah, Danielle,
Yes.
fantastic presentation. To me, very moving. And this group, I don't know how long that you've been meeting. You haven't been meeting that long, I don't believe it.
No.
Just this year?
Yeah, we started actually in they called me, was it the end of January or February? I think they swore me in. So right after they swore me
Yeah.
in.
But I'll tell you what, you are doing a fantastic job
Thank you.
with all these different outreach programs. And first of all, I want to thank you for your service to the country.
Thank you.
What branch of the service were you in?
I was in Army.
Okay, thank you. They had a great soldier guarding the United States and guarding all us.
Thank you.
And the other thing, to get this information out to the city, is it on the city website? All this information you passed on to us? Can we get it on the city website?
So what I did was I partnered with the Parks and Recreation. So I gave it to the assistant, William Walker, to post on the websites. And
Right.
I've also given it to the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs. So all the events that we have going, any veteran in Indiana can go to the IDVA to see what events we have going on for the city. So I'm not really good with the web stuff, but if there's any other suggestions you have, if you're not seeing them on the website, please let me
Yeah,
know.
well, what my suggestion would be is not so much maybe putting down every program that you guys have, but just, the bullet points,
Okay.
who runs the organization,
Mhm.
how to contact the organization, so that if a veteran wants to get involved, they can go to the city website and boom, that's where it's at, instead of
Okay.
just trying to figure out, or maybe just saying, forget it, I don't have time for it. But thank you very much and keep pushing. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yep.
Councilman Nelson.
First off, great presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I want to utilize that information that you just gave us. Is it possible to have that email to me, like that PowerPoint email?
Definitely,
Or the
definitely.
whole council?
Definitely, yeah, Drew actually has my PowerPoint, so he could email it to the council? Please.
Thank you, Drew.
Thank you, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Councilwoman Moldenauer.
Most excellent presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'm very impressed that you are off the ground running from when you first took over. So I love to see people in action because that really makes a difference. My dad, two uncles, and my cousin actually served in the Army. So I know the importance of having access to information when you need it, especially when somebody's in crisis. So I'm so happy to hear that your subcommittee is going over that referral list, because there's nothing more frustrating to somebody if they're in crisis and they'll call once, twice, three times, and they're not getting connected with the kind of help that they need.
Right.
So that is such an important thing to do. I know it sounds mundane and routine and sort of like a clerical type thing, but that really could be a lifeline for a veteran. So thank you so very much.
You're welcome, and thanks for saying that, Councilman Moldenauer. I'm a service officer as well, so I help veterans, connect veterans with their benefits, and then a lot of times I'm called, because I just give my number out, and I'm called at like all times to help like car repairs. I have access to a lot of resources that I know that work, but I was also given a list of resources that we need to make sure that actually work, because I've had veterans come back and say, oh, this is a transportation line, this doesn't work. And like if they need to get to an appointment or get somewhere to a doctor's appointment or whatever compensation appointment, they need to have something that works. So yeah, you're definitely right with that. Thanks.
Dr. Cora.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thanks for focusing on mental health, because I see it from the other side, and it's a huge need. There's a huge need for it. And the community engagement that you're doing and the activities that you're doing really promote mental health. And so I can't thank you enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Councilwoman Lee.
Thank you, Madam President. Danielle, this was wonderful. Thank you. And thank you for your service. We're at a crucial time where a lot of veteran benefits are being cut. So thank you for revitalizing and re-energizing this committee. You have a history of getting stuff done. So I'm very happy to see that you're in the lead for this.
Thank you. Thank you, Daisy.
Ms. Farley, I just have a couple of questions. One is, so LaPorte County has two locations for veteran services, one in LaPorte building and one in Michigan City. And the one in Michigan City, from my understanding, has very limited resources. With the program, with your commission, will you be able to service those that are unable to come to you? Because I know the one in Michigan City, so you have veterans that need assistance in filling out their forms, their applications and things of that nature. Instead of them going out in the field, will you or any of the commissions be able to assist with those types of things as well? Because if so, that's something that I know that the veterans do need. That are you able to be mobile to go out in the community to assist if they can't come to you?
So basically, I volunteer. I'm always volunteering, but we do offer services at the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 23. I'm a lifetime member there as well as a service officer, and we service anywhere from 160 to 200 veterans a month. And so the way I get it out is if I see someone like wearing a hat or, saying something with Vietnam vet or Army vet or Navy vet or whatever, I'll start a conversation. And we have 6 service officers at that DAV site, and we're all trained to assist veterans with connecting them with benefits. And it's been pretty good, because when I first started, because I haven't really been with the service organizations for very long. When I first started, though, I believe they were just seeing maybe between 95 and 100 vets. And now we're seeing up to 200 vets per month. And so, so we do have a spot that we see them once a month. But again, anytime any of our service any of our service officers see a veteran, even if they're not in LaPorte County, we offer them services because we know, it's a nationwide issue. It's not just a Michigan City issue. And I don't believe is there still a county service officer? Because the one I know John Hill was up here at Michigan City, and he was actually coming to the commission meetings and to DAV to help us.
There,
But I
there
think
is one in Michigan City. It's located, and his office is located on the second floor
so
of the courthouse here in Michigan City. So I don't know if you're able to, I can't recall the gentleman's name.
Is it a new officer? Because I know
yeah,
John left at the end of it.
he's gone, but there's someone else that
Someone else is
replaced
there?
him.
Okay. I have to meet him.
And I don't know if you would want to reach out.
Yes, I
see,
do.
But I had a conversation, and one of the things that was brought to my attention is that the resources was limited. There was only so much that they could do or
Right.
information that they could provide.
Yeah.
And again, as we all have said, thank you for your service, and to all the veterans that is a part of this commission that has been volunteering even after they have served their time,
Yeah.
and that they're still on the forefront for everybody. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
And next, are there any other reports from boards and commissions? There are none. Moving on the agenda, reports from special or select committees.
Madam President.
Councilman Bielanski?
I'll put this into this category. I'm the liaison to the sanitary district. And I know that we've been contacted about the new report that's coming up, the W40.
Yes.
I know, I'm trying to,
Yes.
yeah. I'll get it here.
MS score.
Yeah, the MS4. That's the report that we're gonna have to approve or vote on. And we have a ordinance that'll be in front of us next meeting. But right now, every council member has got this in their mail slot right now to read. And if you have any questions, have them ready for the next council meeting. There's a lot of technical reading involved with this. This has been before. Well, it's been approved, of course, naturally by the sanitary district. It's been approved by the planning commission at the last meeting. And it'll be coming before the city council for the first reading at our next reading. And every city in the state of Indiana is adopting this, okay? And Purdue University has put this together. Basically, every city in the state of Indiana is using the adoption of what Purdue University has done. So anyway, it's there. It's in your mailbox for the reading, and take time to do that and be ready to go at the next meeting so we can get this moving along.
Councilman Dabney?
Yeah, and I just wanted to piggyback on what Councilman Prebelinski was talking about. And Al Wallace is going to put together bullet points. This thing is somewhere around 49 pages or something to that effect. So he's going to put together some easy to read bullet points for us to be able to swallow this whole thing. It is a pretty big thing to read there. And we were talking about this, like you said, in planning commission. So they're going to put together some bullet points to see to follow to make it more easy for us to digest. So.
And Councilman Dabney's correct, because all the bullet points are in this ordinance printout already for the council.
Okay. Are there any other reports of special or select committees? Any other reports of special select committees? There are none. Reports from mayor or other city officers and departments?
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First of all, let me say the Veterans Commission, when they jumped in and reorganized, they jumped in full force. I appreciate everything that they're doing. I know that there's some things that we plan to support as well, and I think it's a testament of how boards and commissions should work, providing services. Providing actual services. So one thing that I would like to say is that our new website is up. So any resources or links, we can link residents to your commission page. So just send that information to us and we'll get it updated. So I haven't been up here in a little bit, couple of meetings. So I got a few things so I figured I'll go first before the Chiefs. First of all, last weekend was a great weekend. Shout out to Terry and to Eric and all the volunteers with the parade. We had, first of all, the flyover was one of the best I've seen in a long time. It was the Hooligan Flight Club, and they had 5 vintage World War II fighter jets, aircrafts that they did, like, I don't know how many. It just kept happening, and I was like, how many are they gonna do? But it was great. And Braden Fisk being our grand marshal and spending he was out there lifting boxes, and he wanted it to be a success. The Family Fun Day was wonderful. As it's probably, he's been on the radio, he's been everywhere, but he's a Los Angeles Ram. And he was born and raised here through Pop Warner, part of that national championship team, all the way through high school. And it's just a testament of what hard work is, and that our school system and what our school system produces. And I talk about those special classes, but not just athletes. Scholars and graduates and college graduates and electricians and veterans and all of those things. So I want to make sure that we all acknowledge that and share the good news with everybody around, because our kids and our young adults are next to none. Thank you also to Will Walker and the Juneteenth committee for putting on a great Juneteenth celebration. The park department and the refuse department, again, their support to all of these events that are happening, and they're working out there in that sun. And I just want to acknowledge the fact that, the park department, all of the events that are happening, between them and special events, there is something for everybody, and a lot of free things, a lot of free events. So if you are looking for something to do, I know the park department's website is still underway. So we just want to make sure that there's a QR code now that you can scan to get all the information. And we want people to be out and about. We got food trucks throughout the city, during the week. So we're doing a whole lot, and the city is providing services that we hadn't done before. So again, shout out to them. We had our 4th of 8 town halls this year. Turnout has been great, a lot of good questions. We've been rotating them. We've had one here. We've been at the Hope Center. I don't even remember. Oh, we've been at Squad Post. We were at Zion Hill. The next one I think is at the DAV. So our goal is to really move around the city, make sure that voices are heard. They fill out cards and we answer right then and there. We have department heads there, trying, transparency wise. This is something different. We're going to continue to do this every year. So we want to make sure that there's an opportunity. Some people don't want to come to a council meeting. And so we're trying to offer other opportunities for residents. Another thing, we talk about outdoors. We just finished our Move with the Mayor program with the National Forum of Heart Disease and Stroke Prevention. And great success, but now we're doing fitness weeks through the park department. So we want you to be healthy. We need you to be healthy. It's cheaper if you're healthy to provide services. I don't think people realize when you're unhealthy, it costs more. It costs more for your diet. It costs more for a lot of different things. And as we saw this bill that has passed through the Senate, a lot of people are going to be losing their health insurance. So it's important that we as a city provide outlets from a health standpoint that allow people to have access. I know I had some complaints about our farmers market, but we broke a record. Our first weekend, we had $1,000 in SNAP benefits that happened at the farmers market. That's unbelievable that people are utilizing food stamps to get fresh vegetables. It's a learning process. I call it, it's a pain that, it's a growing pain. I was at the U.S. Conference of Mayors a couple of weeks ago, and they said there's two things that people don't like. They don't like change, and they don't like the way things are. So, so, that's where we're at. So I just want to make sure we acknowledge that we are providing more things to do. And we have a group of young people, and I'm going to go over my time because I haven't been here. We have a group of young people that graduated from from our Neighborhood Leadership Academy that are now have reinvigorated the Midnight Hoops that will be starting. I know they have 1 week off, but it's going to be every Sunday, and from 6:30. Let me make sure I got this right. From 6:30 to 8:30, 13 to 15-year-olds, and this is at the YMCA. And then from 9 to midnight, you have the 16 to 25-year-olds, and they're going to have resources there, and they're making sure that the participants go see the different types of resources that are available. So we want to make sure we support them as these neighborhood graduates, leadership graduates become more active. I've been putting them on boards and commissions. As they become more active in doing programming, it's really important that we support them, because they are really trying to elevate and support, Michigan City. I had my first roundtable listening session with builders and contractors recently, and listening to getting feedback from them. We have another one next week on July 9th at 3:30 p.m. And starting tomorrow, our building inspection team will be having open office hours in the EOC from 10 to noon every Wednesday. If you have a question about your permits, or you have a question about the process, or you have a question about cloud permit, from 10 to 12 every Wednesday, we have open office hours in the EOC. So that is available to anyone who has any questions. I've also asked the department to come up with cheat sheets. And when I say cheat sheets, just one pagers on basic permits where they can click on it. If you follow this process, your permit will go through smooth. But one of the things that I shared with the group yesterday, the complaint, well, actually, we had a lot of kudos. They said the process is getting better, it's getting faster. We're starting to hear more, talked about some other things. But one of the things that I shared with them is part of the issue is all the back and forth of not receiving everything that's required. And so we're coming up with cheat sheets and a table so that they know once we get it, if you don't provide everything, you hold up your own permit. It's not us, it's you. So we're working diligently to make sure we have those one pagers that will be on the website as well. I know there was a question about the appropriation for the $200,000. I don't have numbers for y'all yet. I'm sorry, but it'll come. Again, our parking lot and our sidewalks need to be repaired. And we've had someone come out and already, but they haven't given us an estimate yet. The cooling heating system, it's 6 figures. When we get it, you'll have it. That's what it is. But we need, and our signage. We're getting the estimates on the signage at City Hall as well. The other things that you have on the agenda, and I know Chief may talk about the FEMA matching grant. That is for a new educational trailer. There's a grant that's due. I've completed it, except for some of his narrative that I need. But that grant is ready to go. It's due on June 3rd. I'm waiting on some letters of support, but I've already completed it and just need to hit submit. So Hopefully tomorrow I'll be hitting submit for that. It's only a 5% match, and we budgeted money for grant matches, so we have it in the budget. It's already in there. So hopefully we'll get that. Our trailer, and he can speak more to it, is over 20 plus years. It's 20 years old. It's outdated. We need to have something that's ADA compliant and some other things. So that is happening. I submitted last Thursday the Safer Streets grant. So we received a grant, but it was significantly lower than what we applied for. We applied for $280,000. We only got $100,000 of that grant. So they said that we are eligible to apply for more. So I did. And because we need a robust plan, because in order to get construction dollars, you have to complete your comprehensive plan from DOT. So there's a process. To get federal funding, you have to have a comprehensive street audit safety plan. And they gave us a very small chunk of money. And so I applied for additional funding to complete the plan to make it more robust. So I submitted that last Thursday. And yes, I've been writing the grant. So y'all don't need to hire a grant writer. Okay. I'm worth my money. All right. And so the last thing, the opioid task force, we're working through getting that up and going. I know that an email was sent, but we're in the midst of that. Also, the Indiana plan, we'll have more on that. The Indiana plan, we have dates set for Michigan City residents to participate. It'll be in October. We're going to have an open house in August, and then we're going to have what you call them? Orientation for residents. And we're utilizing funding that was from the hiring ordinance. So back when my husband was the director of human rights, the hiring ordinance, there's a fine. There's fines that were collected. And during that time, that money has been sitting since he left. And it's been, I don't know, a decade. It's been a while, but anyway, the money's sitting in there, and it only can be used for workforce development. This is a great opportunity to use that money. So on your next council agenda, there is a request, and I need some sponsors. We want to be able to accept money into that fund because for this particular class, there's a couple of organizations that would like to sponsor. The goal for that class is this is our model, first one, is that we will pay for the class, pay for the lunch, pay for their boots, and then give them a stipend at the end. That's the goal. So we want to be able to accept, I've asked for some sponsorships and they're willing to do it, but we don't have a way to accept the money. So on your next agenda, if some of you would sponsor that, I would appreciate that. Because we want to make sure that we can continue doing a program like that. So that's a mouthful. So if y'all have any questions, please let me know. Yes.
Councilwoman Maldonado.
I don't have a question, but Angie, most excellent report, and I've missed all of these positive, uplifting things you've shared with us tonight the last couple times. So welcome back and thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually was on the Human Rights Commission when Jeff was the executive director. So I would be very proud and honored to be a sponsor for that resolution.
Thank you. And I will let Amber know.
Yeah, Mayor.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Okay. Question with the study, for the streets and that. Does that all reflect back? We have to do that because I know we want to do Michigan Boulevard.
Right.
So does all that have to be done?
This is
Or
citywide.
Okay.
This is citywide. So there's several buckets of money. So we have not received any of, this might be a little bit too much information, but NERC, we haven't been active with NERC in previous years. And there's something called TIP and some other different buckets of money that we have not utilized. And I don't know, this strengthens our opportunities for federal funding, but Safer Streets has a particular construction piece of that where you have to go through this process to get that. RAISE is separate. We applied for the RAISE grant. We didn't get that. RAISE, so there's several buckets of money, but I think having the plan completed will give us additional points for federal funding. And we haven't done it. So this is an opportunity for us to do it and get it done. And maybe that's why we've been missing out. I don't know.
Sure.
Who knows? But
Dr. Core?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Nice report. First of all, I want to appreciate the fact, the interest you have taken in making sure that people become active. I think it's very good, both for physical and mental health. I think that's great. Now, regarding this Indiana plan, is this like an apprenticeship program that we used to have with the unions? Is that
it's the pre-apprenticeship program. They're a nonprofit and they're statewide. We did one years ago. I think actually Jeff brought here, and I remember I sponsored one with NIPSCO. But the goal is to really take the time and effort to do some outreach first and have an open house, but also provide some type of stipend because it's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. And so we need to provide something, for people to rearrange the schedules for their part-time jobs and all of that for it to even be successful. But in order to do that, the sponsorship letters are about to go out. I've already reached out to a couple that said they would do it, but I don't have a place to put it if we get the money. So I want to make sure that we have a mechanism in place for that.
Yeah, I'll be happy to sponsor it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Can't see my button. I'm going to say the same thing. I remember when I was on council before, working with Jeff I was chair of a council committee, and we worked on workforce development, and I'm aware of that ordinance that had fines. I never knew where they went. I'm shocked that they're still there, but I'm happy they are. And the problem we had back then with the Indiana plan is that all the meetings were in Gary, and you had to provide transportation there. So you had to have a car, you had to have a driver's license, and there were just some requirements that stood in the way of a lot of our people being able to take advantage of that. So I think we did host a thing here, but it wasn't well attended, and we were kind of disappointed at that. So I'm glad we're doing that again, and I like the idea of the stipend because that's something that was brought up back then, and we didn't have the money to pay for it because we didn't have the money in the fine.
Yeah,
fund.
and this is only for Michigan City residents. We're using
Right.
Michigan City money, so you have to be a resident to even participate.
I'm
So,
excited about that, and I would add my name to the list and I'll work on that as diligently as I did before.
sounds good. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for the mayor? There are none.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Are there any other reports from other city officers and departments?
Good evening. Give you a run report for the month of June. For the month of June of 2025, we had 18 fire calls, 313 medical calls, 20 hazardous conditions, which were non-fire, 8 service calls, 42 good intent, 44 false alarms, 1 severe weather, and 2 special incidents. And out of those 313 medical calls, Narcan was used 8 times. So for the month of June, that gives us a total for the year to date of 2,490 calls, which is 59 more calls than we had at the same time last year. Really, that's pretty much it. I don't know if we can do that. I know we're on the agenda to speak about the trailer. If you want to go ahead and do that now, we can do that, or I can wait. I don't have an issue either way. So,
If you would like to speak on it now.
okay, I don't know if you guys have any questions. Now, this is a little different than trying to sell a fire truck. So as a lot of you know, if you've seen it, we have an Edith House. It's a trailer. It's really reached its useful life a while back, actually. It's 30 years old, approximately 30 years old. And it's very limited in what its use. It was good at the time, but when you go inside and you look at it, and I have pictures on my phone, I didn't think about seeing if he could load those up. But unless you're about 3 feet tall, you'll have to crawl through it. And the whole idea was to teach kids how to crawl out and go out the back, go down a ladder. And like I said, it's pretty limited as what we could do as any kind of fire safety. It's just teaching you to get out. The trailer we're looking at now is a 27-foot trailer. Also with the Edith House, we have no ADA accessibility. Anybody with any mobility issues, wheelchairs, anything like, they're not getting in. And if they do get in, they're not moving around. So this one is a 27-foot trailer. It has a kitchen, bedroom prop, has heated doors, has smoke effects and stuff, has a stove where it, do stove, emergency, stuff like that. Heated doors, teach you how, heated doors, not to go through the doors. It'd be better to show. I don't have a video on it. There is video out there. I don't know what information you guys were emailed on this with the resolution. Whatever you need, please contact me. I contacted Daisy and I contacted Don. So anything you would like to talk about, it does close out on the 3rd of July. So in about 2 days. The main thing about this is it has ADA accessibility. The back actually drops down, makes a ramp. The walls inside move. So we do have ADA accessibility for anybody with mobility issues, wheelchairs or anything like that. Again, it is a 5% match. So the total cost of the city at this time we've priced it out in 2 different ways. The most expensive is the 5% match will be $10,377.98 to the city. The other one would be $9,895 and some change. It's just basically we're removing a prop probably that we don't feel that we need. We're still kind of debating that a minute. It's something that, like, part of the prop is good, but we got so much other that comes with it that would be unnecessary for us. I have our public information officer. She's the main one that takes this thing around. All right. Right now. So what she has right now is trying to use that. We don't use it. It's unsafe. It's been repaired so many times. It's not worth putting the money back into. Generator works about half the time if you're lucky. Not only do we have smoke effects, but like she'll tell you, sometimes you get real smoke. So it's just that old and beat up. This one actually runs off solar. It has an inverter generator if we need that. It's just a much better product. And she could actually do this all on her own. To run the Edith House, she would need an engine crew to come with her, which we'll still probably do. But if she needed to, she could do this on her own. And in that way, we could get out and start teaching the children, teaching the public, and we could expand who we can teach this to and teach fire safety to as well. Because, we've gone to schools. We've been called out. We go to NIPSCO on like their family days. We've gone to the mill. We go all over. And this is all ages. And like I said, ADA accessible. And I think it'd be perfect for us to get our community risk reduction thing going again. So any other questions, any concerns, anything?
To Chief Taylor, what will you be doing with the old truck?
Figure that out. We could go park it and let somebody do whatever with it. It really has no purpose. There's really nothing practical use for it. Like I said, unless you're about 3 foot tall, you're not walking through it.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe somebody would take it and have a vision for it and they can do something with it. So if the city wanted to sell it or whatever, somebody's willing to take it, we could do that. So as it is right now, it sits at Station 3 and doesn't move.
Okay. Are there any comments from the council? There are none.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
Good evening, Council President, Council members. Marty Corley, Michigan City Police Department. I have the June 2025 stats for the police department. I did email them this afternoon, but then also made sure everybody had a copy here at the meeting. So I'll just go over those. If there's any questions, feel free to ask anytime. Total cost of service or 3,608. That's 406 less than May. Trying to wrap my head around the decrease. And in our total cost of service, a lot of times we also, it's our self-initiated activity also, so traffic stops, those type of things. I think with the bad weather, we didn't have as many of those because we were chasing alarms and other things. So that kind of drove down some of the self-initiated calls because we did have a couple of bad storms here in May, or I'm sorry, in June. Loud music, loud noise, there was 40, which was 10 less than May. In the Sheridan Beach area, there were 3, which was 9 less than May. Also disturbances, 98, 10 more than May. And then disturbances for Sheridan Beach were 1, which is 3 less than May. Total reports taken, 413, which is 40 more than May. Total arrests, 211, 8 more than May. Juveniles arrested 19, same as last month. Adults arrested 192, that's 8 more than last month. Total shot fired calls were 38, which is 22 less than May. And that kind of contributes again, like I told you, to AI. So what Flock has done is now they've updated some of the AI, and now not only are we doing shot detection, but it's starting to learn what they call sidecar, so vehicle schooling out and those type of things. And then you also get the shattered glass that they're going. So that AI is that's why our numbers were kind of high last month compared to now. So District 1 had 12 calls, District 2, 11 calls, District 3, 6 calls. District 4, 4 calls, District 5, no calls, and District 6, 5 calls. Total firearms seized were 28, which is 12 more than last month. Speeding tickets were 58, which were 40 less than last month. And then it was 8 citations and 50 warnings. Warrants issued 164, served 122, 13 recalled, which was for a total for the month, cleared 135 warrants. Our flock for case reports were 14, 6 less than last month. 2 of those were for a stolen vehicle. One vehicle was recovered. Raven notifications were 6, which is shot detection. Out of those 6 Raven notifications, we made 4 arrests due to gun violations. 1 arrest report, 1 theft, 2 warrant arrests, 1 arson investigation, and 1 information report, all from our flock Raven shot detection system. Social worker Jocelyn Coburn, she had 60 total referrals, 55 total contacts. The source of referral, 2 were from reports, 10 were from patrol, 43 were self-referral, and 5 were from outreach. Types of referrals, suicide ideation attempts, 5, mental health, 18, substance abuse and overdose, 4, wellness checks, 5, juvenile issues, runaway, 10, abuse and neglect, 3, homelessness, unstable housing, 9, aging elderly, 7, protective orders, 3, victims of crime, 4, death, 1, 2 financial issues, and 2 legal issues. And the type of resources provided, recovery supports, 3, community mental health centers, 2, other counseling agency, 2, 8, emergency department hospital, 5, housing agency, 9, shelters, 10 employment services, and 5 other, which include the Victims Advocate, APS, Family Advocates, Porter Stark, and MERT. Any questions?
Are there any questions from the council?
Madam President?
Yes.
Yeah, Chief, with speeding tickets, if somebody gets a speeding ticket, how much of that money actually goes to the city?
None really. It's more state. If we get any of them, it's it's a small amount because it's a state offense, so it goes through, through the state, through the county and state, through their system. So we don't get too much from speeding tickets.
I've heard at one time $3, $4, $5.
If that, like I said, not very much. It's not really to notice.
Okay.
I will tell you that the difference in those numbers were we've been had a little bit more monies coming from the state to do Operation Pullover type things, which allows our officers to make double time off of that when they're doing it because state actually reimburses us for that. So that's the kind of difference. You'll see the difference in the numbers as Operation Pullover fluctuates. So we don't get much as a city, but when our officers are working those pullover grants, they actually make a little bit more.
Councilwoman Moldenauer.
Yeah, thank you. Chief Corley, excellent report as usual. I actually was going to ask about the decrease in speeding tickets because it seems like those are pretty great numbers.
Mhm.
And I find it hard to believe that people have slowed down, but I'm
Yeah.
hoping that that is the case. So anyhow, I did have a request, I guess. There's still quite a bit of alphabet soup on here, SRO, CMHC. I'll remember it about every second or third council meeting, but I don't always remember. So if those could be spelled out, exactly what SRO and what CMHC stand for, that would be extremely helpful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilman Beatrice?
Chief, under referral source, so the self-referrals, there were 43 of those. What exactly is that? Is that people who are calling the police department because they have an issue that they want them to help with, or what?
Yeah, people calling. We get a lot of we get calls. I get calls about people that Jocelyn goes out and checks on. She does some outreach stuff for her own stuff. Things like what Mrs. Corley just brought up. Those type of things are part of the self-referral and outreach. So she gets a lot of stuff that she kind of like follows up on herself that maybe she's been working on for the previous month, but it continues over, or something comes is brought to her attention. There's a lot of times if I see things out in the community, we had some people starting to migrate. Where I don't want to say it was the cancer center, but it used to be a furniture store, and now there's a doctor practice there, right across from Panera, where they were starting to migrate over there and kind of like hang out. And so I sent Jocelyn the first to talk to him, see what services we can provide them before we started any police interaction. So she went there and got them situated, or at least they're not at that location trying to set up a camp.
Are there any questions for the chief? That's all from the council. Thank you so much, Chief, for your presentation.
Thank you.
Moving on to our agenda, Madam Clerk, are there any petitions this evening?
There are no petitions.
Madam Clerk, on communications, please.
A notice was received in the clerk's office on June 16 from IDEM regarding the approval of operating permits. Correspondence was also received in the clerk's office on the 25th from Al Wallace, Operations and Inspection Manager from Sanitation District, regarding the proposed stormwater ordinance. A public notice was received in the clerk's office on the June 25th from Edgewater Resources regarding formal public hearing for maintenance dredging of Trail Creek.
Madam Clerk, our first resolutions this evening.
A resolution by title only approving submission of applications and supporting the local match for Safe Streets and Roads for All Grant 2025 SS4A Grant Supplemental Planning Activities. And this is introduced by Ms. Stillman and Mr. Prespolinski.
Are there any comments from the sponsors? I have none either. I will open this up for public comments on this resolutions. All comments are 3 minutes. Are there any public comments on this resolution?
Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. This is about the Safe Street. I know when Paz Road was finally reconstructed under the previous administration, 2023, we were supposed to get sidewalks in between Michigan on Woodland Paz Road between Michigan City High School and the new Early Rose Learning Center and the new Automotive Shop, LaPorte County Career and Technical Center there. They really need to get those in. I know it's been put on the back burner, so, let our students in our city down. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kolovic. Public comments on this resolution? This is going to be the last call for public comment on this resolution. Public comments are now closed. May I entertain comments from the council? Are there any comments from the council?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Councilman Prespolinski,
Support.
second by Councilman Dabney. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Prespolinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
and Mr. Coulter.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
This resolution has passed. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, on our next resolution, please.
A resolution by title only approving submission of application and supporting the local match for the fire prevention and safety grant through FEMA to purchase a fire safety simulator trailer for the fire department. And this is introduced by Ms. Lee.
Are there comments from the sponsor?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lee?
Thank you. So as Chief Taylor said, this is a grant that they're applying for through FEMA. This is to replace their safety fire simulator. And the match that the city would provide would be no more than $10,377.98. And money for grant matches has already been budgeted in the 2026 budget.
Thank you. I'd like to open this up for public comments. Are there any public comments on this resolution? Any public comments? Any public comments? This will be the last call on public comments for this resolution. Public comments are now closed. Any comments from the council? Councilman Prince Belinsky?
Yeah, Madam President, I would just like to say that the $10,000 that's going to be spent here, if this is approved, is well worth the money to educate people and save lives in the long run. And that's, to me, that's what this is all about. So I'm hoping that all the council members will approve this and we can bring this simulator up to date to the 2025 years instead of being 30 years old and not even being big enough for the chief to be able to crawl around in. So, yeah, I will certainly support this. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Dabney?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? There's a second by Councilwoman Lee. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Dr. Cora?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Preselinski?
Aye.
Ms. Tillman?
Aye.
Ms. Tillman?
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice?
Aye.
Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
And Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
This resolution has passed. Madam Clerk, on our next resolution, please.
Approving the additional local match, a resolution by title only, approving the additional local match monies for cities grants for the Indiana Department of Transportation, NDOT, for right-of-way acquisition costs for Phase 3 of the Singing Sands Trail. And this is introduced by Mr. Dabney.
Is there any comments from the sponsor?
Yes, and what we have going on here, as you mentioned, the right-of-way acquisition for the Singing Sands Trail. There has been an increase in that price that has gone from $240,000 to $320,000, which is thus made us have an increase in the local match, 20%. So it's gone up from $48,000 to $64,000. So that additional 16 that we're looking for has already been put in the budget for the 2025 budget. So the money is there for us to make this increase to be able to pay the local match for the acquisition of Phase 3 in the Singing Sands Trail.
Thank you.
And I see Shannon Eason has come down and possibly give more information on this as well.
Good evening, Council. Shannon Eason, Park Superintendent, City Trail Manager. So we are in the final stretch of completing Michigan City's segment of the Marquette Greenway, which is a tri-state trail from Chicago suburbs north of New Buffalo now, and the cities north of New Buffalo are taking up with planning to make that longer. So our segment is 6.5 miles when complete. $20.5 million to complete that short segment, which is mind-boggling. And I don't want to up the mayor here, but I also grant raise, so the feds are supplying 16 million to our 4.5. We've been working on this for 20 long years. Once the right-of-way acquisition has been completed, this entire project goes to NERC. So the city will not be managing the construction or construction engineering or any of those contracts. They will be handling the rest of it with ready and raise funding. So we got very lucky to get in on that. A few communities dropped out, so the money came back to us. We started with a $2.1 million match, but when they dropped out, we got more money, so we're at 1.3. So that will finish this up. Letting date is in 2026, so completion in 2027, and then I might retire and you can set your sights on the next trail. I'm gonna go ride Singing Sands for a few years. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
I will open this up for public comments at this time. Are there any public comments on this resolution? Any public comment? Last call for public comments on this resolution. Public comments are now closed. Are there any comments from the council?
Yes. And yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that Shannon has been involved with this from beginning. And she has put in a lot of time and a lot of work with this project. And she actually mentioned the word retire. So I'm hoping and praying that she doesn't just, when this is done, that she just announces that she's gone. Because I might have to do something to her if she says that. Because she has been working, this has been her baby going on for a long time. And I really want to give her a pat on the back. And I just congratulate her for the hard work and the things that she's been through putting this whole project together.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Councilman Beatrice?
I was going to say the same thing because I'm stunned that we are still working on Singing Sands when that's one of my earliest memories of being on council. But you've been a part of this, and it's a real credit that it's happening at all to you. And they ought to name up some portion of it to Shannon Eason, because I'm sure it never would have happened without you. So congratulations. And
Thank you. A lot of people worked on this before me.
we still have a couple more years before we're really over with it. It's really done, but.
And then throw me 10 million and we'll start on the next one. I'll stick around.
Good job.
Thank you.
If there are no further,
Yeah, Madam President, Shannon, I just want to, pardon?
I was calling on Councilwoman Maldonado. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Shannon, I just want to say thank you so very much for answering all of my questions for at least the last 10 years, probably 15, if not longer. And some of those questions have come from me, and a lot of those questions actually came from interested residents, which I think speaks volumes as to the popularity and the desire for this to actually be something that Michigan City has access to. And I just want to speak the overall significance of this, because this trail will go from Illinois all the way through Indiana, all the way up to Michigan. And when you have an interconnectedness like that, that becomes a significant economic driver for Michigan City, our small businesses, our shops, our galleries. I lived in Missouri for about 10 years, and the Katy Trail there actually transformed every single community that's along that trail. So I see that happening here for Northwest Indiana also. So it's a very big vision for us as a region, and also for the three tri-state area here. So just thank you so very much. I'm throwing you the next project, so you can't retire. And it's that interconnected trail that's going to be the circle around Michigan City that's going to be a very significant factor for creating healthy lifestyles for people that live in Michigan City. So I didn't even hear the word retirement. So thank you.
Councilman Przybylewski.
Yeah, Shannon, you can retire anytime you want because you deserve it. But thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for all the hard work you've done on the Singing Sands Trail. Like the other council members have alluded to, it seems like we've been hearing this Singing Sands for a long time. But it's just takes, sometimes projects like that take a long time, took a lot of money, and it took a vision that started well before I came on this council, and here we are, we're getting close to the end. So
just so the public knows, like, I think Singing Sands Trail is probably the most difficult trail, probably in the tri-state region because of NIPSCO, three railroads, very limited access down Highway 12, residential areas. So it wasn't an easy feat. It wasn't because we weren't trying. There were just so many entities involved and very little space. We're landlocked. It would have been cheaper and faster to build a boardwalk out on Lake Michigan and just connect it into the park. Yeah, we talked about that, but not feasible. But thank you for your comments. It's been great working on
Yeah,
it.
thank you for your hard work on this. Thanks.
Awesome.
May I entertain, anyone else's like though? May I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Have a motion by Councilman Dabney, a second by Councilman Prisbalinski. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Boldenauer,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson.
Aye.
Mr. Preselinski.
aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice.
Aye.
Mr. Coulter.
Aye.
Mr. Dabney.
Aye.
And Dr. Cora.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Thank you very much and
Thank
happy
you.
Independence Day.
Same to you as well. Madam Clerk, on our next and final resolutions for the evening.
A resolution by title only approving a request to connect to Michigan City Sewer Utilities by Yellow Bear Farms LLC of 2520 Shorewood Drive, Long Beach, Indiana. And this is introduced by Mr. Prespolinski.
Would the sponsor like to make any comments on this resolution?
I certainly would. And Attorney Anthony Novak is on Zoom this evening to answer any questions or possibly feed into what I'm going to say. But in your packet, if you would go to your packets, if you have it, and go to the page where you have a overview of the area. And on that page, it says instead of 7 houses, 1 mega house. And I'll wait for everybody to get there so we know exactly what we're talking about. I think it'll kind of simplify things here. Ready to go? Okay, everybody there? All right. So what this individual wants to do, and that's part of Long Beach right there. And what they want to do is build 1 house on that island, and then they want to have their sanitary, instead of having a septic system, they want to send it to the Michigan City Sanitary District. Okay? And that's what this is all about. With that being said, and I know that there was a consultant. Let's see, where's that at? Well, you've had a consultant that works for Mr. Al Wallace, who's the operations manager of the sanitary district. And yeah, here it is. And also Chris Yagelski, who's the business manager. They both have said that the sanitary district can take the flow from that house and it will not have any effect on the capacity of the sanitary district. With that being said, I will let Mr. Novak chime in to his details on this project.
Yes. Thank you, Councilman Prespolinski and members of the council. We are here tonight. The owner is Yellow Bear Farms. The property is at 2520 Shorewood Drive in Long Beach. For those of you maybe unfamiliar with the connection process, as I think it's been maybe a couple of years since somebody's done it, you all passed an ordinance 4662 a couple of years back that basically have two requirements. One of which is if somebody outside of your jurisdictional boundaries want to come in, they would have to waive any objections to annexation. And that's an exhibit that's ultimately attached to the resolution if adopted. The resolution is then recorded because it would be a binding obligation that would run with the land for 15 years that any future owner also could not waive annexation. And then secondarily, the ordinance requires that a majority of the council would approve such waiver. So we're here tonight doing that. This property is on Lake Claire, just in Long Beach, just outside of Michigan City. As Councilman Prespolinski indicated, it would be one house on one of these peninsulas. It's roughly 7.5 acres. Typically, these peninsulas can house roughly anywhere between 7 and 14 homes, but this gentleman is just building one. So when I talked to Al Wallace, he indicated that overall that would obviously be a benefit from the capacity perspective, because instead of having 14 homes that might produce 1,000 gallons a day, whatever it may be, you have one home that's going to produce an estimated 1,300 gallons per day. But that's assuming that there's going to be 14 guests there every day. And that's kind of how they had to calculate it. That's obviously not going to be the case. So as Councilman Prespolinski indicated, we did make our application with the Michigan City Sanitary District. Al Wallace, back when he was working for Christopher Burke Engineering, had another person at his firm, Jenny, I can't think of her last name, review this. She confirmed that there wouldn't be any capacity issues and that it could connect. And then ultimately, Chris Yagelski issued the letter indicating that the sanitary district has already approved it, so long as the council would approve it. So that is our request tonight, but I'm certainly here to happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from the council at this time? There are none. I'm gonna do the public and then come back to us. I'm gonna open this up for public comments. Are there any public comments on this resolution?
Yes, Tommy Kalava, 1316 Ohio Street. I really don't like the idea of running utilities outside the city limits unless they want to merge in with the city. This wouldn't be an annexation, it'd be a merger. Long Beach is incorporated into a town. There'd have to be two separate referendums. They'd have to both pass for a town to merge in with the city. That's state law. This is just how I've always felt about it. I think that they should be part of the city if we're going to run utilities out to them. Thank you.
Public comments? Are there any public comments on this resolution? Last call for public comment. There are no other public comments. Public comments are now closed. Comments from the council, Councilman Beatrice.
I have some reservations also, but this Lake Claire, you call it now, that used to be called Dirt River when I was a kid. And that was a place where no houses were there. It was just a bunch of us, young kids playing, fishing and skating, playing hockey. But it's a valuable piece of property. And I know that everybody who lives along that Lake Claire and all its peninsulas have the same issue. Their issue is they can't put dry wells in anymore. It's forbidden by the state. And they all have this issue of what are we going to do? Is this going to set a precedent? Are we going to have more and more single homes approaching us to plug into this sewer line? And are we sure that this thing that's being built here is a single home, or is this going to be a mini resort?
Yeah, I can assure you, Councilman Beatrice, that the owner of this property has no desire to use this as a resort. In fact, he's not only purchased this peninsula, but he's purchased the peninsula immediately to the east for privacy. So he's got no desire to use it for a resort. And again, to the point, I have no idea if anything could set a precedent, but for anybody to come in, there has to be sufficient capacity to do so, which has been affirmed. And beyond that, then we pay the application fee to the Michigan City Sanitary District, and they're going to ultimately have to pay whatever tap-in fees or additional rates. So this will ultimately be revenue producing to the sanitary district. So I think it can be a positive in that way.
Councilman Dabney?
Yes, and you know where I'm going to go with this because I've been talking about this for a long time. Regarding, connecting sewer, water to any property outside of Michigan City that I want to see them annex into Michigan City. I want the property taxes. I think we've been getting ripped for a long time, ripped off. Not by this. I'm not talking about this project at all. This is totally good in what we're saying. They've waived the right to fight annexation, so we can't annex this property. But this also goes to properties on the other side of 400 out there by Walmart. And I want to see it all. I want it all. Regard to us hooking our utilities up for businesses, homes, whatever it may be, or we gain a water department customer, but we do not get the property taxes. I just think that is totally insane for us to continue down this road as a city. But what's happening here, definitely in favor of this. But it just gave me another chance to talk about my feelings and one of the big things I want to see us do as a city to really approach that and take care of that issue.
I appreciate your comment. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Councilwoman Moldenauer?
Yes, I would like to request a definition of cannot waive annexation. Exactly what does that mean?
I can. Would you like me to respond?
Yeah, cannot waive annexation. What exactly does that mean?
Correct. So essentially, in your ordinance that you guys passed, if you guys were going to initiate annexation proceedings, a property owner has the right to object. Not that they would necessarily win, but they have the right to object. Your ordinance basically or specifically spells out that if you guys initiated that, we would have no legal basis to object because we would have waived it. And that's what's going to be binding for 15 years. I can guarantee you that if you guys initiated that process, my client would gladly become part of the city. They wish their property was within Michigan City.
Okay, I can remember sitting in the audience several years ago, as a resident of Michigan City, and always in the back of my mind was the thought, why are we not annexing these properties? And I still don't understand why we're not doing that, because that would build our property tax base, as Councilman Bryant Dabney just mentioned. So I just don't like going down this slippery slope, because it seems like the more of these we approve, then we're saying inadvertently that we're not interested in annexing these properties when I think we really should be. So that's what I wanted to say and to get on record. Thank you.
Councilman Pryzbylewski?
Yeah, Madam President, and just a few points to reiterate is that by doing what we're doing here is we're actually increasing revenue to the sanitary district, okay, taking in a little bit more business, and the sanitary district is not going to put themselves in jeopardy by taking over capacity into their plant. They know I attend meetings once a month. That's a sanitary district. And they always talk about capacity, what kind of capacity they have. They say there's plenty of capacity. I'm sure if they were getting close to where they wouldn't be able to provide capacity for the city, that these letters of endorsement here would be saying that we do not have the capacity, do not approve this city council. So they're in favor of it. The other thing we have to remember is that the sanitary district has not imposed a rate increase on the city of Michigan City in approximately 10 years. So rather than having a rate increase, I see nothing wrong with taking business from outside the city, signing the agreement that they cannot be annexed or they cannot fight annexation with the city ordinance. And that, to me, this is good for the city. If people want to join into the city in this type of activity, I see nothing wrong with it. So I hope that the council approves it. And, you know, and I agree also that, you know, other communities, Trail Creek, Pot Park, whatever we think should possibly be annexed into the city. Well, that there, I think, should be if a committee wants to be put together by the mayor and she thinks that the city can take that on from a tax basis and services basis. I know that Pot Park, I think a couple years ago, was possibly looking at trying to join Michigan City, and that got pushed back and we didn't do it for a particular reason. So anyway, getting back to what we're doing here this evening, appreciate that. We appreciate my council members approve this and we can generate some more funding for the sanitary district. Thank you.
Dr. Cora?
Mr. Novak, I had one question. Who pays for the connection?
The property owner.
Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Lee?
Thank you. If I'm understanding correctly, we don't have to decide tonight if we'd like to annex the property. We have 15 years to decide if we would like to annex the property. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Are there any other comments from the council? Councilman Beatrice?
Anthony, I'm sure you've been with us since day one on this project. At the planning department level, not the sanitary district level, was there any discussion at all at the planning department level about annexation as a precondition to this or a corollary to it?
When you say planning department, you're talking about Michigan cities?
Yes.
No. So this is really the only involvement that this project has had with the city, given the fact that it's in Long Beach. So all of the construction, building permit, zoning related issues has all been through the town. Anything related to the city has strictly been utilities. The conversations with the sanitary district have gone on for more than 2 years because there's been a lot of ebb and flow with things going on with the sanitary district and capacity and things like that. So nothing with the planning department specifically, strictly all with just, nothing with the planning department, all strictly with the sanitary district.
Okay, thank you.
If there are no other comments from the council, may I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Council Prisbalinski. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Cora. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Nay.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Preselinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Nay.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
and Ms. Moldenauer.
You already voted.
Oh, I already did it. Okay. We have 7 in favor and 2 opposed.
And this resolution has passed. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Madam Clerk, our first ordinance on second reading by title only, please.
An ordinance on second reading by title only, approving additional appropriation in the budget of the rainy day fund for emergency and non-emergency repairs to City Hall. And this is introduced by Ms. Lee and Ms. Tillman.
Are there any comments from the sponsor? I have one. I would like to do second and third reading on this ordinance, please.
Support.
And before I have to do the notice, yes, formal, okay. If I can recant that. So this was on our ordinance on second reading by title only. The Herald August, this was in the newspaper on June 18, 2025. This is open for formal public hearing, will be held July 1st, 2025. Now can I make my request? Oh, I'm sorry. Public comments. I will open this up for public comments. Are there any public comments on this ordinance? Any public comments on this ordinance? There are no comments. Public comments are closed at this time. Any comments from the council? Any comments from the council?
Yeah, Madam President, and I know that the mayor was here this evening. And I know that 100,000 of this right off the top is going for the HVAC system and yeah. So then I guess we're looking at signage for City Hall and we're looking at sidewalk repair for City Hall. We're looking at blacktop for City Hall and looking at landscaping for City Hall. Is there anything else that
Not to my knowledge.
about?
Not to my knowledge, no more than what was presented from the mayor on this evening.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, and the only reason I bring that up is because I know we asked at the last council meeting possibly what was going to be done. So, all right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Want me to do it? All right, I'd like to suspend the rules and ask for second and third reading tonight.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Dabney and a second by Dr. Cora. Madam Clerk on the vote, please.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Preselinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice.
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney.
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
and Ms. Molnar.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Madam Clerk, on the third reading.
An ordinance on third reading by title only, approving additional appropriation in the budget of the rainy day fund for emergency and non-emergency repairs to City Hall. And this is introduced by Ms. Lee and Ms. Tillman.
Are there any comments from the sponsor? There are none. I'll open this up for public comments. Are there any public comments on this ordinance? Any comments from the public on this ordinance? Any public comments on this ordinance? There are none. Public comments are now closed. Any comments from the council?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Councilman Preselinski and a second by Councilman Dabney. Madam Clerk on the vote, please.
Mr. Preselinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
and Mr. Nelson.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have new business. We have for our information, Mayor Angie is requesting the advice and consent of the Michigan City Common Council regarding her reappointment of Denise Blau as a member of the Michigan City Tree Board, with her term beginning 8/1/2025 and expiring 8/1/2028. Next, I would like to add under new business. Do we have to vote tonight? Is there? Can we take a vote on?
You don't have to take the vote tonight.
Oh,
I'll make a motion to reappoint Denise Blau to the Michigan City Tree Board.
Second.
Madam Clerk on the vote, please.
Who seconded
We,
that?
Councilman Nelson.
Okay.
Madam Clerk on the vote, please.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice.
Was that me?
Yes.
Aye.
That's you. Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
and Mr. Preselinski.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Congratulations, Denise, you have been reappointed to the Michigan City Tree Board. I would like to, under new business, I would like to request to add an item under the new business for consideration by the council. And that is for, and bear with me. I'm requesting that the August 5th City Council meeting of 2025 to be rescheduled for August 4th of 2025, maintained at the same time and to be held in the council chambers. That would also apply to the Michigan City Finance Committee meeting to be changed from August 5th to August 4th at the same time. This change is being made to allow council members, city employees, and members of the public to participate in and celebrate the annual National Night Out, a nationwide event promoting community engagements and partnership with the local law enforcement. This event strengthens the relationships between the neighbors and law enforcement while fostering a greater sense of community. I understand this as, again, this is a nationwide, so it wouldn't be befitting to schedule this to be on another day opposed to the actual date that it has been designated for. So I am requesting council's consideration for this change.
Madam President, I make a motion to make that change.
There is a motion by Dr. Cora and a second by Ms. Council Beatrice. Madam
No,
Clerk.
man, can we discuss this? I mean, we just opened it up and, people are making motions. Can we, because I have a question.
Okay.
Okay.
Can-
And I think.
One moment, Councilman.
Yes, ma'am.
Belinsky.
Excuse me, Councilman. To make that change, there has to be a vote to make the change, and then it can be discussed and
Since the motion was already made.
and voted on.
And there's a motion on the floor.
And I thought the motion was to, I may have misunderstood. I thought the motion was to approve the actual change of the date.
Yes.
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 That's what it was.
Yes.
Motion and a second.
There was a motion and a second.
Right, but there has to be a motion and a second to add that to the agenda.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. May I entertain a motion?
I make a motion to add this item to the agenda.
I'll
Thank you.
support it.
Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Okay. Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Nay.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Prespolinski,
Aye.
and Ms. Tillman.
Aye.
We have 8 in favor and 1 opposed.
Thank you. Now with this being added to the under new business, I will like to open this up for comments from the council.
Yeah.
Councilor Prespolinski.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. And what my question is, and it's for our attorney, is that the council meeting dates are set by ordinance. Okay, so if we change an ordinance, it usually takes, or make an amendment to an ordinance, it takes 3 readings to do that. So how can you then, if you just want to change the date to a meeting, I'm just looking at the procedural part of it. Not saying it's not a bad idea, but I just want to make sure that we're doing it by the law and that we should have 3 readings on this. And then, have a vote then instead of voting tonight.
If I may, I actually obtained this information from our corporate attorney, Amber LePage, and the reasoning being, a vote does not have to be made in regards to as what you're presenting. However, then I can call this as a special meeting. And for that, the presiding president, or I have the authority to do so. That is why I am allowed to do this under new business to bring it to your attention, or however, I could have just set it as a special meeting.
That is accurate. That is accurate. Also to have a single change of meeting date, you're not changing the entire schedule of meetings.
Correct.
So the ordinance covers the council meeting general or the council meetings generally. But those are, that's a rule that can be.
I don't remember council dates being approved.
The setting of dates is a procedural thing. So if the council chooses to change a specific date, it can be done by a vote without changing the entire ordinance.
Okay.
Because it's only a single date. It's not the
Okay, thank you.
slew of dates.
I think we all learned something this evening. Thank you.
There's knowledge in books, knowledge in books. So now, moving forward, Madam Clerk.
Can I?
Oh, Councilwoman Moldenauer?
Yeah. My dissent is a selfish one. I'm gonna miss the next meeting because of plans that I already made, like 3 years ago. And then I'm not gonna be able to make this next meeting either, because I have somewhere else that I've made a commitment to be. So that means I'll miss 2 meetings in a row because of this extremely late change of date. So I just want that to go on public record, please.
Thank you, Councilwoman Moldenauer. I would like to entertain a motion.
So
We have a motion. Is there a second? I'd like to second. Madam Clerk on the votes, please.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Nay.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Preselinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
and Mr. Vietri.
Aye.
We have 8 in favor and 1 opposed.
So to the public, and for council, just a reminder to be informed that the August 5th City Council meeting has been changed effective today to August 4th, 2025. The City Council meeting will still be held at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers, and the City Finance Committee meeting will also be held on August 4th at 6 p.m. in the council chambers. This has been approved. Moving on to our agenda for unfinished business, Madam Clerk, could you please read that, please?
Sure. We need to take the vote for the Energy System Group ESG Year 5 Performance Guarantee Saving Report for the City of Michigan City. Note this was tabled on June 17th, council meeting until July 1st, council meeting.
Thank you. I would like to entertain a motion on the Energy Systems ESG.
Motion to approve it?
Yes.
In this, yeah, I make a motion to approve the ESG report and that it be submitted.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Support.
Yes.
We have discussion about.
Oh, apology. No. My apologies, and I'm saying that for the fact that this was tabled, reasoning being because it was addressed that we didn't read it. So we did receive it, we did read it, it got tabled till now. I just took it upon that we were ready to move forward because we had that opportunity to do so unless something else has arise from that. I will, due to that there is a motion on the floor, I'll move forward with that. And if you would, Councilman Dabney, would you address what your questions or concerns, even though it's after the fact?
Well, thank you. No, that's okay. Thank you. And what I wanted to talk about or discuss, we had a chance to read it and everything like that. So I had a chance to see what they're doing and what they're reporting. I guess my question is more like, can we get ourselves out of it? Because I just keep reading this thing and it's a bunch of stuff that we can do on our own. And I was just wondering, could we, terminate this thing? I mean, that's kind of a tough word for me to say, but, or, tough way to put it, but I just see some of the stuff they did. They changed some light bulbs and, controlled the heat in the people's offices and the air conditioner in people's offices. I'm like, man, this is stuff we could do on our own. So I'm wondering, we paid the money do we still have money to pay for them to go change more light bulbs around town or what, that's the kind of discussion that I wanted to have. Because this started long before some of the other council members were here, but that's the kind of discussion that I was thinking about. Could we have at this time, regarding this? Anybody agree or disagree?
But due to that, we can't answer that just yet because we still have that motion unless they pull their motion
All right,
off the
that's fine.
table to open this up for discussion.
Madam President, I just want to make a comment that what we're doing today is accepting that report.
Right.
If we want to go and change how we do business on this particular item, probably we should introduce a separate resolution at a future meeting and then discuss about what we need to do in terms of modifying or terminating that agreement.
And thank you, Dr. Cora, because I don't even know if we can. And that's all information that, I'm wondering. And I apologize for bringing this discussion where we're having this back and forth up here. These are questions I normally want to have answered before I get here. So I don't have this public display of us going back and forth like this. So I apologize to you all for that. But I mean, that's just the way I'm thinking about it at this time. And like I said, I apologize for didn't get my questions answered before we come out here in public to discuss this.
Madam President, just a quick comment. What you have brought up is a very good item to discuss, but probably this is just to accept the report, and then maybe we could have a separate workshop, Madam President, and then at that time we can discuss if there is any possibility of modifying or terminating it.
So, Madam Clerk, we do have a motion on the floor. We have a motion by Dr. Cora and a second by Mr. Beatrice?
No, I made the motion.
Motion by
Councilman Przybylski.
Przybylski, a second by Dr. Cora. Madam Clerk on the vote, please.
Mr. Dabney,
Nay.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Nay.
Mr. Nelson,
Nay.
Mr. Przybylski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Nay.
Mr. Beatrice,
Nay.
and Mr. Coulter.
Aye.
We have 4 in favor and 5 opposed. 1, 2, 3.
This report of the Energy Systems Groups of ESG did not pass. I would like, if you would, Councilman Dabney, to move forward to request to have this done in a workshop. Public workshop? Yes. Thank you. Next, we're moving on to comments from the public. I will open this up for comments from the public. Comments are 3 minutes, and they are comments.
Yes, Tommy Kolavic, 1316 Ohio Street, and a happy 4th of July to everybody. I hope we have a great 4th of July. And go out and enjoy the fireworks. I always like to sit between the DNR and the NIPSCO plant, watch the fire. Great spot to watch them. I don't like going to the main lot of Washington Park. Yeah. So the last weekend, the patriotic parade was great, and it's going to get to see Braden again. I was going to say, last couple weeks since we last met, there's been a few tragedies that's happened around our area. I know a couple weeks ago there was a Chesterton police officer that got shot, and the man committed suicide. And the one of the names is mentioned. There's their town of Chesterton Police Chief Tim Richardson. I think we all know that Tim, before he was the chief of police at Chesterton, he was Lieutenant Tim Richardson here at the Michigan Police Department. He's certainly no stranger to these officer-involved shootings. Give my condolences. I know we had a train versus vehicle accident here in Michigan City. It's really hard on everybody when those happen. I was a passenger on the train twice when there's been train, but 5 people in Gary, young adults. They're all members of the same family. In fact, there was a set of 20-year-old brother and sisters that lost their life. Just wait for those train signals, people. They're on those trains now 45 miles an hour through the cities with the double track. And let's say there was a little 10-month-old little baby that got killed out on 400 North this week. I mean, it's horrible for everybody. I just wish everybody a happy and safe 4th of July. I'll be spending all week at my mother's. I can't stand when they shoot the fireworks off here all week. So just want to say everybody be good. Thank you.
Good evening, Ernie Hollahan, 302 Gladys Street. I've missed a few meetings because I've been down. I read in the paper recently where they did a survey of Michigan City and LaPorte, and the poverty level in Michigan City is at 61%. And LaPorte is at 47%. That's pretty sad for Michigan City, for people to be in that predicament right now. I've been expressing for all through these council meetings, every time I get up, we need industry back to Michigan City. I have seen so many leave here. We need more back so these people that are in poverty can get work and support themselves. Part of those people are going to be the ones that Trump is going to be cutting them out of Medicaid or Medicare. And they won't have no medical. And with the city's finances, you're not going to be able to handle all of those people if they get cut out. I just feel sorry for them. I'm sorry. I grew up a poor person in my life. It's not fun, believe me. Thank you.
Good evening, council. I will try to make this one brief. We have all been sitting here a while. So Carlton Bishop, I'm the owner of BAC Marketing, and I'm really just here to talk about some awesome stuff happening in Michigan City. So I have been working closely with the merchants in the Uptown Arts District, and we came up with the program to promote the downtown, and all the merchants are on board. They've chipped in money, and we said, you know what, can we grow this bigger? So we went and we talked to the Main Street Association. The Main Street said, you know what, after going back and forth, that sounds great. We'll not only match you, we'll give you a grant to give you a 1.5 match to the merchants one. So essentially what this is, it's exciting. It's a marketing campaign. It's going to run 6 months. It started in June, so we're already moving forward on it. And we've already had, I think, 140,000 people. We're targeting New Buffalo, Valpo, places like that for tourism, because tourism is essential. And I know that that's part of the placemaking. That's, as we just heard, we want industry to come back, right? We want to be connected with the singing sands, all that stuff. This is showcasing our time. Our time is now, right? We have the station block. Everything's focused downtown. It's exciting. So again, with my team, I have 100% Michigan City participants. I don't have anyone that's outside of the city even on my team. We interviewed Skylar at the station block. We're showcasing everything that the merchants really have to offer to make people come out to see Michigan City. Personally, 10 years ago, I moved here from the marketing that was happening in Michigan City. I saw it in the newspaper. I left Purdue down in West Lafayette to come move to Michigan City. So if I can reproduce that story and get talent here and get everything that we need back into Michigan City, I feel like it could start with this program and then kind of build it out. I know Skylar even said he's excited. And if we can even grow that, because the station block sits in the center of the downtown, uptown is more north, and if we can even grow it towards Ames Field and that piece of the city, again, this is just kind of my comment. If you guys have any questions, let me know. It's primarily a social media, Google campaign, stuff like that. I guess, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I got a quick question. Now, I just want to.
Yes, sir.
this is comments, not, if you could provide us with your contact information or you can email.
We've worked a little bit on this too, so he knows. Oh, yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Public comments? Are there any other public comments? Are there any public comments? Public comments are now closed. Comments from the council. Councilman Dam.
There it is. And well, this is, I was just wondering, had you worked with Rose Tejeda? Just look that name up and connect with her. Because she has like a website that she's been kind of doing that same thing. And now your marketing firm and working it. So it's two people trying to do almost the same thing. And I think it'd be nice if you had a chance to talk to her. So I just wanted to point that out to you. She's involved. Perfect. All right. Thank you. I want to comment about something. I got a call this morning on my way to work, and there's a guy that goes out to Water Tower Park. And he goes out and exercises up there in the mornings. And he said he's going to send me some pictures, but he did not get a chance to send me these pictures. But he said that the baskets, the adjustable baskets, had been broken, where they could not be raised or lowered anymore. And he also was out there picking up a ton of trash. I guess there was people who had cookout up there, trash all over the park. And I've been told by others that there have been lots of fights happening ever since we've opened Water Tower Park, or renovated Water Tower Park. And this is just a message that I want to put out to some of the people in the neighborhood. This is Eastport. We have to take care of our own. I'm trying to say this and be passionate about it, but not overly. I don't want to blame or whatever, but we have to look out for ourselves. We really have to take care of this park. We put the money into it to renovate this, turn it into a very nice park from what it used to be. And there's been issues up there. And we really have to come together and take care of our stuff. They say if you build it, they will come. But if you destroy it, people will not come. So we have to come together as a community and do some things up there regarding the Water Tower Park. And I have not seen the pictures yet. I'm hoping to get those. I hope he's watching, actually, because I wanted to get a chance to take a peek at those. And then I wanted to address something that Ernie was talking about. And I've had this conversation with somebody else. I don't know how much time I have left, but regarding the poverty level and the jobs and things of that sort. And I hear this all the time as a city councilman. You guys need to bring more industry back. And, we had those factories that were here in the past. We didn't push them out. They left. They left for better deals down in Mexico, down in the south of the United States. We didn't push them out. So people will blame us and say, oh, you guys just want to turn this into a tourist town. No, this is what it's become. Because of these factories and that have left here. We didn't kick them out of Michigan City. They left. So we're going to have to try to find other industries and things like that, because it's going to be very difficult for us to approach somebody and say, hey, we want you to move your factory back up here to pay more labor costs and everything like that in order to move back into Michigan City. Economics, it just doesn't work like that. So I hope at some point we do have people move into Michigan City, and maybe businesses will come to Michigan City that we can then raise that average income of Michigan City. So I see Nancy reaching over for the clock there, so I'm going to cut this off. But there's a lot to be done, and I understand your concern, Ernie, because it's a lot different these days. Back in the day, you could graduate from high school and then go work in one of these factories. That's no longer an option. So we have work to do. There are things out there that are coming regarding housing and so forth, and hopefully that will drive more business into Michigan City. So once again, we could see our average incomes increase over time. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Beatrice.
Two two quick things. One of them is related to Ernie's comment, and we've had this conversation before between the two of us. There are plenty of businesses in Michigan City that yesterday tried to hire people, today tried to hire people, that will be trying again tomorrow. The veterans group was here and they had a bunch of them at Krieger trying to hire people. They can't find people. So there's an issue out there, but I don't know that it's all in the favor of no businesses from Michigan City who are hiring anymore, because you talk to any of them, they are hiring or trying to. Secondly, is this ESG report. I'll go to the meeting we have whenever we have it, but I said this 4 years ago, we shouldn't be paying for that. We pay a lot of money for this report. And the information it gives us is stuff that we could find out on our own. And I think Don and I had this conversation. We decided, well, let's wait one more cycle. And we did. And I almost have to admit, I may have been wrong, because in this report on page 15, it says they don't have access to data from all sites, but they have access to view solar production for Fire Station 4, Senior Center, and Police Department. The inverters that are operational are producing as expected, but the fire station and the Senior Center each have an inverter that has not shown production in over 2 years. So they're recommending that we identify the cause of this, correct it, so that we can benefit from the solar modules in those two sites. That's information I never knew existed. So whoever in Michigan City is in charge of those two sites, figure out what's wrong with your inverters so that we can get the benefits of the solar energy. So that is valuable information in this report. But I am looking forward to meeting on this, because I don't think that we should continue to pay a lot of money for a report that gives us information that's easily accessible to the controller.
Councilwoman Maldonado.
Let me get set up here. I need to time it. I want to add to the conversation about the report that my two councilmen have already commented on. And first of all, I really want to acknowledge Don Prisbalinski, because he was the one that initiated an assessment and all of these improvements that were made regarding this changing of the bulbs in every single facility within and outside those facilities, also temperature control and everything else. So I really want to acknowledge you, Councilman Prisbalinski, for doing that, because at the time it was very rare that cities were doing that, and Michigan City jumped on board. And it's been evidenced through the years that it has paid off, and we've gotten the money back. I'm in agreement with my two city councilmen here that there's no reason for us to continue this contract, because we're spending thousands of dollars every year, and this could be better used for other projects. It's shown that we're saving money, and I think that's the only thing that we need to know. This information is available through other sources. NIPSCO does this for free for nonprofits, for governments that want this sort of information, so we could plug into them and get it very easily. And they did bring up that the inverters were not working when they did that workshop with us, whenever that was. So I was aware of that. The problem being people that are able to repair solar panels are hard to come by and find. So I did reach out to a couple of my contacts within the solar community, and nobody really had a solid referral as far as any repair service. So we're talking about creating jobs. There's a big need there. Just a couple really quick announcements. Every Monday evening, we're having beach cleanups down at Washington Park. Sachagi Burns of the LaPorte County Solid Waste District has been out there most Mondays, except we had a cancellation because of holidays and things like that. So next week, Monday, Michael Kilborn will be there with his family. Go on out and help them clean up the beach. And it's a good way to meet some of your fellow neighbors and residents in our community, create some camaraderie, have fun, and see what really weird things you can find on the beach. Northwest Indiana Green Drinks will be back on Thursday, August 7th at 6:30 p.m. You can join on Save the Dunes Facebook Live, or a Zoom link can be obtained from that's EM at savedunes.org. Hopefully, we're having a speaker from the EPA who will be talking on soils and sediments. And this is very important for our community because we have Trail Creek, which runs through Michigan City, and a lot of our pollution and cloudy waters come from Trail Creek. Date confirmed. We're awaiting approval from the EPA director, but it looks like this is a go.
Dr. Gore.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. Regarding this report, ESG report, I think what we need to do is when we have the workshop, we need to have an attorney review the contract and see what our options are moving forward, since we are not happy with it. So I just wanted to mention that. And then the second thing is I wanted to thank Carlton Bishop for promoting Michigan City. This is very important because even though we have some challenges, but we also have a lot of positive things happening in Michigan City. So I think promoting it is a great thing, and I appreciate you doing that. And I want to wish everybody a happy 4th and be safe.
Thank you. Councilman Przybylski.
A couple things. Number one, we have 4th of July coming up. So possibly instead of going out and buying a ton of fireworks, how about everybody go out and buy an American flag and fly it on your house? Show patriotism for what the 4th of July really is. I want to thank Terry Gretham, events director, for a great parade. The flyover, everything with the parade was fantastic this year. Had a great time. I want to thank the street department, refuse department, vector control, trying to get the city cleaned up to enjoy last weekend and enjoy the 4th of July. And getting back to Councilman Dabney, what you were saying about the Water Tower Park. And I guess I take offense to the fact that the city poured, I don't know, $1.5 million or whatever the amount of money was into that park. I went there for the ribbon cutting. I was there that day. And, I wish I had basketball courts to play on like were installed there. And with those crank up baskets, maybe that's not the right application. Hey, give them 10-foot baskets, and that's the end of the day. But see, what I take offense to is it's everybody's tax dollars here that go into building any park, whether it's Gardena Playground, whether it's wherever you're at, Pullman Field, what have you. It's everybody's playground. It's just not, and I get the idea, it belongs to the neighborhood. Well, it does belong to the neighborhood. But I just feel bad that people, you want to invest $1.5 million into a project like that, and it's only been, a month that the park's been open, maybe, since they had the ribbon cutting, something like that. 5 weeks, what have you. Nah, a little longer than that, because I didn't have my surgery yet. Yeah, so it's been 2 months. All right, been 2 months. But anyway, fact of the matter is, and then to go and tear something up like that in the public, the innocent people don't have the opportunity to enjoy it, and just don't get it. Anyway, I'm heartbroken about that. Hopefully the neighborhood, if somebody knows who did what, somebody could say, hey, either tell them to the site, don't do it again, or, go to the authorities and get it taken care of. But yeah, now we got to go back, right? Now we got to go back and fix those baskets at what? Maybe $2,000 a piece or whatever it's going to be. Yeah, and now the park department, now they're going to invest money over there where they could invest money in another playground. So I rest my case, man. I mean, I don't know where it ends, to be honest with you. But thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome. Well, on that note, I would just like to close out by saying, this has been a great meeting. And the 4th of July is approaching. I just ask to each and every one of you to be mindful, to be safe. Those that are going to utilize fireworks, things of that nature, be mindful, be safe, read the instructions. Please clean up the debris of your firework equipment. Don't just leave it out. It's been very hot. I don't really see any rain in the forecast. So please make sure that you have water hose available just in case. And also remember, God forbid, if something were to occur, don't forget to contact your 911 for the police department or the fire department in case of an emergency. With that being said, I would like to entertain
Madam President, we talked about that executive session before the meeting next Wednesday. Remember we were talking about? You want me to?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Due to the fact that there was a issue down at Washington Park 2 weeks ago, individual got shot, 20 shell casings were laying around. Some automobiles got struck by the bullets. I've been kind of thinking about it and spoke to some other board members on some other boards and spoke to the park superintendent, Shannon Eason, spoke to Marty Corley, the chief of police, to have a executive session with the city council and with the police department and with the park department and the park board on park security down at Washington Park from here going forward. So we do not have a bad issue that could strike up down there in Washington Park. Yep. So I'm just trying to be proactive. I mean, I think the council needs to get out in front of it before something drastic happens down there. Because if something does happen down there, I guarantee you this council chamber is going to be full of people asking us, what are we doing about it? So that's what I'm trying to do.
So
go ahead,
So with that, then it'll be a tentative date for July 9th. I have to see if the EOC room will be available and to coordinate that with everyone else's schedules.
Yeah, so it'll be next week, Wednesday, 5:30.
Tentatively, I have to make sure it's available, the room is available.
All right.
And to coordinate it with everyone's schedule. So with that being said, may I entertain a motion to adjourn? Thank you, and everyone have a safe and good evening.